Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Tony Declutters her art supplies. Today we're going to be talking about all my watercolor things. We're going through everything, and what I don't need, I'm going to pass along to somebody else, because if I'm not using it, somebody else can. So let's just get right into it and start decluttering. So I hope there's enough light over here. I wanted to show you, I will not be decluttering any of what's in this drawer set. These are my Dr. P.H. Martin's Radiant Concentrated Watercolor. These are all my aqua inks from Marabou. I just went through these, so I know I don't have any duplicate colors. These are some liquid watercolors I got from Let's Make Art. Down here it's an assortment of Ecoline and De La Rani Aquafine. So I don't need to go through this particular drawer. We're good to go here. All right, next I'm going to go through this thing over here. This is actually not out on my watercolor table. So I'm going to go ahead, go through it, and then get it out of my way, and then we'll kind of work around the table. So on top here I have some empty palettes. Okay, here's a nice little empty palette, but I don't use it, and I really don't see myself using it in the future. Yeah, I usually like them a little smaller than this. So I'm going to pass this along. Here's another one that was on top. It looks like these are kind of stained, but that's okay. I don't see myself using this, so I am going to also pass this along. This is something we just got from Muse Kits. I'm going to keep this. This might be nice for gouache. Oh, I'm going to include gouache in this declutter. Here is just a spray bottle of water. I'm actually going to keep this out. Okay, here's an assortment of masking fluids. I have opened this. I'm going to go ahead and throw this one away. I just really don't get along with these that well, but I'm going to go ahead and keep one just in case, and I will try it out again in the future. I'm going to pass this along. This is unopened, so I'll be keeping... This is my favorite kind of masking fluid. It's blue, so you can tell where you've went. And up until I tried this was the masking fluid of choice. Nothing wrong with it. I'm going to go ahead and also keep this till it turns bad. So my top drawer, I just have empty half pans. No idea. I can take this out. Don't know why this is in there. I can throw this away. Okay, so I don't know why these two things are in here, and that's why we go through this. This is Gamsol and Holbein Colored Pencil Blender Melts. I will put this with my colored pencil stuff. A random pencil sharpener that we will be passing along. Okay, so here are my gouaches. So I'm going to take everything out, and we can put it all back in and see what I'm dealing with here. Okay, in this box we have a whole bunch of little half pans that have dried out. Don't know really what they go to, but I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to reuse this box though. I think this was from one of the limited edition sketch boxes. I've never tried them yet, but I'm going to take them out of this box and put them in this cute box. Ta-da! Beautiful. This is very good. I got this from some kind of box. Very nice. Actually, I like this a lot. Okay, here are all my Holbein gouaches. These are very nice, and probably my second go-to gouache when I do use gouache. And I forgot to mention, these are acrylic gouaches. That means that they won't rework once it dries. Right, here are all my small little tubes of Holbein gouache. Now this is not the acrylic gouache, this is like the opaque watercolor gouache. This is what I reach for when I do work in gouache. I'm going to keep all of these. I made sure I have two duplicate colors, but they're ones that you'd use pretty regularly, like white. So I'm going to keep all of these. That's all my gouaches, folks. Here's the reason I thought it would be good to do watercolor stuff next. Look at this. I don't even know what's in here. So instead of taking it all out, I'm actually going to make little piles as I'm taking it out and talk about things. We're going to keep this off to the side because this goes with some other things. Here's a couple of my Daniel Smith dot cards. I like to keep these to reference. Or if I just don't have a color, I check to see if it's on my dot card. Yeah, these are pretty useful. Okay, all of these are Nicholson's Pureless Transparent Watercolors. They're on these cute little cards. Now, when I first got them, I thought they were just the best thing. And they really are. I mean, these are very user-friendly if you're going out into the field to do some watercolor. I'm just not that person. I am not doing plein air watercolors. Since I've made my own set of watercolors, I don't see myself reaching for these ever. So I'm going to go ahead and pass these along to somebody else. I'm actually going to put these in the top compartment with my masking fluids. I already have one of these out in front of me. So this is like a resist. They don't have a shelf life, so why not? Okay, what is in here? Here's a little travel set of watercolors. The Winsor & Newton Cotman. You know, I just never use it, so why keep it? I'm going to go ahead and pass this along to somebody else. Here's more of these papers that I'm going to give to somebody else. Another Daniel Smith. These are so hard to get open. Right, I am actually going to keep this palette. Here is a Daniel Smith Hansa Yellow Light. I don't have much. I don't have many yellows, so I'm actually going to put this off to the side and add it to my palette. But yeah, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep these in here. With one thing, I just can't get this out. But these are Daniel Smith colors, so I'm going to keep a hold of those. I just got these. These are fantastic. I'm keeping this. These are my Daniel Smith sticks. Some of these are in my palette. So I just cut them off. It's just cheaper to buy watercolor this way, but they don't re-wet as nicely as a tube. But I still like them. Keeping all of these, I love this kind of watercolor. I have the ones I use the most up in front of me, which we'll go over. I don't use these as much. The Spaghetti Box ones, they weren't the greatest of quality, mainly because there was absolutely no control of taking these out of the bottles. I'm still going to keep them. Color Sparks, this should be in front of me. I have another one, so I can go ahead and pass this along. These are my Supervisions. I don't see any more. I'm going to be keeping these. These are interesting. These are super granulating. They're not, you know, they're pretty good. These are my M Grams. These are my favorite watercolors. I love the brand. Keeping these, of course. Most of these are in the palette, my curated palette. Schminke, super granulating. These are fantastic. I wouldn't get rid of these either. These are the new Senneliers that my husband just got me. These are fun. I'm not getting rid of those. Right, here is my M Gram Titanium White. Actually, this should be out in front here. Daniel Smith. Not getting rid of these. These are mainly in my palette. What I can get rid of are these Cotman watercolors. I do not like Cotman watercolors. This is a Rembrandt white. I don't know, I'm going to pass it along. I've only got one of it. And then the Artist Loft watercolors. I think these are like gold. Yeah, metallic gold. And whatever, I'm not going to use these. Okay, so this is a little more organized. Now, I'm adding to this. Here is a little Kiritake sketch box. This was so cute. I love this. I almost bought an extra one. Their indigo blue is fantastic, and I love this red when I paint cardinals. This is so cute. If I were to go out and do some plein air painting, this is what I would take anyway. But I'm going to put it in here. Okay, and then this is my set of, the big set of Kiritake. They have a new one out that I'd like to get my hands on. These are more opaque than watercolors. Yeah, I mean, I guess the best way to describe these is kind of a cross between a gouache and a watercolor. These are nice. Very nice colors. I like this set a lot. Like I said, I would like to get my hands on their newest set. Very interesting colors in their new set. I'm going to keep that in this container, or this drawer, along with my dot cards. All right, moving right along. Up next are my everyday water palettes. I don't know what you call them. These set out on my desk over to the side here. This one just looks neat. I've got, these are the Schminky super granulating colors in here right now. I don't know what I plan on doing with this someday, but it's pretty neat. Anyway, it sets out because it looks neat. These are tins that I made up that have something different in each one. Oh, this is my super granulating. These are the Supervisions and Schminky all in one palette there. I love the super granulating watercolors. They're just neat. They're fun to watch when they dry. I don't use them constantly, but I like to keep them out because I do grab for just a certain color here and there. Okay, I think this is my sparkly one because it's got the sparkles on the box, and it is Uli watercolor dot card with all the shimmers. And here are just random pans of shimmery watercolors. I'm also going to include these. I just got these. These are very neat. I will link the video up here. Yeah, they just don't fit into this little box because they're on dot cards, but I like to set them out so I don't forget I have them. I'm painting a lot of snow scenes, and these shimmery, iridescent watercolors just really give it some fluff and sparkle. Okay, the last box are the Supervision Mica Super Granulating. So when it separates out, you've got a couple different colors and you've got shimmers included. These are very specialty. You have to be doing a certain painting to want to use these. They were fun. I've done a couple of things with them, but I don't really reach for them constantly. There are a couple colors in here that I use more than others. I'm going to keep it because they're fun. Yeah, I think I can actually put this one in that drawer box, though, because I don't reach for it a whole lot. Here is a Sennelier palette I just made up. I'll link that video somewhere here. This is from the My Husband Buys My Art Supplies. They are working out very well so far. This I can move out of my way. This is just a palette I have out that I could grab at any time. These are my most used watercolors. I've talked about these constantly. These are the darks. Here's what they look like swatched out. I got this off of Amazon. These are just the greatest. The greatest. I use them in every painting I do. Got nice sized pans. Yeah, these are just must-haves in my opinion. I have it out. If I'm grabbing for this, I'm also grabbing for this. Here's that yellow I talked about. See, this is my homemade palette. I don't have a bright yellow, so I'm going to add this here. But just so I'll show you this. It's not clean because I use it. Here you go. My homemade palette. Most of these are M. Graham and a few Daniel Smith. And I've got one Sennelier added in here now. If you're interested in me talking more about this, let me know down below. I'll tell you what all I've got in here. So this sits out at all times just like this. I've got a lot of brushes up here. This is one of my new Fumis, but I thought, where are they all at? Anyway, I need better containers. These are kind of a pain in the ass. So these are a lot of Princeton Select. I like some of their smaller brushes. This one right here, this small little fan brush, I use for all kinds of different things. Foliage, snow. I have a favorite paintbrush, and it is this one right here. Squirrel Hair Degato. I use this every time I paint. This is fantastic. But the rest of them in here are like smaller detail brushes that I reach for on a regular basis. I have a silver black velvet rigger here. And then I just got some of these detail brushes from a Muse kit, or Muse kit. There's a lot of little details that I like to do. And so I put these close with some other brushes that I use. This one's next. I can probably declutter some of these. I think just by default I have to keep these. I want to like them. I'm going to keep trying. These are the Lebenson handmade. This is a small goat and synthetic blend. This is an itty bitty Siberian elk. I just can't get these to work for me, but they cost an arm and a leg. So I'm going to keep them. I'm actually going to set them off out to the side because I need to try them. I have to make these work. These cost that much money that these need to work. So I'm going to set these off to the side and just remember to use them. I did a collaboration with this brand, and I never know if I'm pronouncing it, Fuumi. I like these, and where's the other ones? I'm putting these in a bigger jar because this isn't big enough, but these are ones I'm keeping off to the side. I just want them in a bigger container so I can reach for them more. Oh, I know why I can't find some of them. They're up over here. Anyway, those are going in there. I just got, and I need to remember I have them, but these are going to go into a different spot. They're going in a little holder up here. So I'm leaving these out. All right, here are some silver white brushes. I'm going to add these to my acrylic brushes. I'm not going to declutter it. I'm just going to move it to a different location. I think these are best suited for acrylics. I prefer other watercolor brushes to these. They're not bad. I'll use them just in a different area, different medium. This Princeton. This one's really nice. Actually, I'm going to move it to a different container. One that I reach for this quite a bit. Oh, I'll move it right here. We'll just start a new one. These two are also very useful. A Princeton flat brush. I don't use this a whole lot. I'm actually going to move it over here to this jar. When I want to do a flat wash, it's convenient. I can't like put it in a drawer because I do use it, but I'm going to put it here just because it's bigger and I don't want it in that one. These. I don't know why I just don't like these two brushes. I just don't. This one I actually use to splatter snow with. It's a good snow splatter. I do use it. The only thing I use it just to splatter snow. This one I almost never use. I'm undecided of whether I'm going to get rid of it or not. I'm going to set it off to the side for now. I might get rid of this. I just don't like it. Oh, I got this off of Amazon. These are actually really good. I'm going to leave the cap on. These come to a very fine point. Can you see that? I just got these, what do they call them? Hockey brushes. I haven't even used them, but they're kind of big and chunky. I'm going to put them in here. All right, I keep just little bits and pieces of stuff in here. Some salt, a candle. This is actually for a resist. Sponge, some brush cleaner. And here I have my Princeton Neptune. This is what I use when I want to cover a large area with water. And it's strange. It's just a strange size, so I keep it right here. Oh, here's my other one. When I dry brushes, I put them in this rack upside down. And after they're dry, then I can put them in the jar. These I got off of Amazon. These weren't my favorite. I think I'm going to go ahead and pass these on. I have other quill brushes that I like a lot more than these. Here's my beloved Princeton Quill Neptune. Love this. Going in there. Another Princeton Neptune. This is their dagger. I haven't used this yet, but I have other daggers that I know I love. When I use it, I know this is going to be a favorite. These are my other beloved brushes. The Dugato Squirrel Hair. Love all of these. I got these off of Amazon. I mean, I think everybody should own them. But yeah, I'm actually going to move this. I'm going to put it somewhere where I can move it around. I don't want to store my brushes here, but when they're drying, I want them to be in this rack upside down so the water doesn't run down into them. But then what I do is I let them dry off to the side and I forget about the brushes being in there, and yeah, it's a whole thing. So I'm going to put these in this jar. And I'm going to move this off to the side for now, but trying not to show you my mess up above what's sitting here. This is mainly alcohol ink stuff, but I like it sitting out so I can grab it. All right, let's go through this next little section because we have more brushes. I can probably declutter. And some markers, watercolor markers I never use. This is probably where we can make some progress too. This is the masking fluid that I'm using currently. It's opened. I'll be keeping that. A random half pan that I can put away where it goes. Let's kind of reorganize the stuff down below here. What do I have out? Okay, this is my Liquitex acrylic ink. Liquitex acrylic gouache. This is the M-gram that I just decided to keep out. Put that there. I'm going to try to keep all my whites over here. Cute little pots. These are like the color sparks, only they come in little pots. Love these, and they are pretty. This is like a resist. I keep that close. These are 2 black gouaches. This was from our holiday sketch box. This just needs to go in my ink so I can move it there. These are my beloved color sparks. Love them, love them. Actually, I put there. I'll set this off to the side, probably just sit in front. I mean, I use this quite a bit, so it's okay. It's not in its own special compartment. Now for this stuff. Well, on this side, I had most of my flat brushes, which I don't use for watercolor, so I'm going to move all of these to my acrylic side. I might be able to eliminate some of these other little random cups and maybe move all my brushes here. Maybe. Palette knives. Good to have handy. This is what I use for my masking fluid, by the way. These little silicone things. That's what I use to apply mine with. Everybody's worried about ruining their brushes. This is what you need to be using. Here's a little scratchy thing. I'm going to put this over here. This, you never know when you need a really old, stiff fan brush. Keep that out. Here's a random white Derwent pencil. Now, all these markers. Wow, I just don't use... I know I like this. I like that. This is a nice brown. I'll keep that. Now, there was one of these that I did like. I think it was these. The Kuretake ones. Yeah, I did like these. I'm gonna keep those. And I'm gonna get rid of all these. Fine, I'll keep it. That kind of consolidates the brushes. I like it. Right, I've made some room. I've got rid of a few jars of brushes. I can get to my brush holder so I don't forget what I've got drying. And I've got this lovely box to pass along to friends and family. I expect to have quite the box when I get done with all my decluttering. That was my watercolor and gouache declutter. Comment down below if you are enjoying these kind of videos. I always like to see other people's art supplies, and this just needs to be done so I don't become a hoarder. Anyway, guys, I will see you in my next declutter. Bye!